Hello, everyone. Welcome to Miami View Women. This is our post-Thanksgiving Day broadcast. We are so happy to be here. It's also Black Friday, and I hope that you all are, enjoying the leftovers of your Thanksgiving dinners and got some really good sales today online, hopefully. I know that yesterday, we were all grateful in my family for being healthy. So we decided to stay that way and not gather. And it was, kind of a big sacrifice, but, we feel that at the end of the day, it's all well worth it. Next year is going to be an amazing year where we can probably all gather together and celebrate even more mentally than ever. And Carolina, what did you do?
Hi, Irela. Hi, Leanne. Happy Thanksgiving weekend. Today I'm feeling really grateful. Just really happy to be here with you ladies. It is a really special show because normally we wouldn't have a show on Thanksgiving weekend, but Leanne is a special woman, which you'll hear more about now. So this is a special treat for all of you. My Thanksgiving was quiet, with my daughter and my mom. We opened up the windows and the balcony and just had a very quiet lunch with our family, very, very small. But I think it is important right now to either do virtual and really protect each other from this pandemic. And we owe it to everyone. It's our responsibility to keep our community safe and our family safe. So it was definitely a different sort of Thanksgiving, but a grateful one indeed. Thank God.
Well, with that, we're so excited because, as you all know, Miami View Women, we are all about women helping other women and supporting especially women who run for office. And we are thrilled today to have with us a very special guest. So Carolina, take it away. Introduce Leanne to everyone.
Leanne, it's so wonderful to see you today.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
We're so happy to have you, especially on this Thanksgiving weekend. Leanne is a candidate who's running for Village Vice Mayor in Palmetto Bay, Florida. She is currently in a runoff election, which will be held on December 1st. That's why our urgency to have you here today, because December 1st is Tuesday. She's an attorney who has lived in Palmetto Bay for over 25 years. And her decades in service are just admirable, from her days organizing service projects for young women at Pace School for Girls and outings for foster kids, to her 6 terms as board member of the Junior League of Miami, to her role as a Florida Supreme Court certified mediator, mediating hundreds of foreclosure cases, and now defending and litigating for large and small businesses throughout South Florida. It's wonderful to have you here.
Amazing.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Amazing creds, amazing qualifications, Leanne.
Thank you.
What we ask most every candidate that joins us on Miami View Women is, what was that motivating factor? What was that thing that made you say, you know what, I'm just going to run for office?
What it comes down to mostly for every decision in my life is, how can I be of service to my community? And the decision to run for office is seriously not one to take lightly. And it had been presented to me for many years, people requesting, suggesting, pushing. And what I did instead is I got involved in training women how to run for office. And once I learned how to help others, it was just a natural flip for me to decide that I have to lead by example. And it's something that pushes me along. As I learn something, I have to lead, I have to show others. And the natural place to start for me was in Palmetto Bay, because I love my community so much that I wanted to be of service on our council.
It's amazing. I took one of those workshops that Ruthless was providing, and to know that you conducted one of them on how to run, and then you just want to be that example, right, for women who want to run. It's just admirable. And I know Ruthless Florida and Ruthless Miami have really supported your run. How has that been?
It's been fascinating and absolutely heartwarming, because we have got such a wonderful core group of women. I've kind of collected wonderful core groups of women in every activity that I've been in, whether it's been PTA or Junior League or being on the Educational Compact Committee in Palmetto Bay. And so once you work with a group of women that want to lift up others, you create this net that you lift everyone. And they come in and they help. We've had days canvassing around the community. Every aspect that you could possibly need for a election support has come from the ladies that I've been working with in Ruth's List and in other organizations as well.
That's fantastic to hear because, well, I ran for office many, many years ago, back in 2002. And I got to tell you that it was kind of difficult to get women to understand how important it was to support a female candidate. So I'm glad that that's starting to happen now more and more. We're starting to see it. So that's encouraging. And I would encourage all women to help each other. That's the only way we're going to make it, to make the numbers we want to make. Right.
Absolutely. And, it's, I'm sure it's really difficult to be in a runoff, right? Because you would expect to, in November, to win or lose. And now that you're in this runoff, what has been like the most challenging moment for you, or the most rewarding and the most rewarding for you?
So I would say the most challenging moment was that night, that moment on November 3rd, when we were all gathered. My core group, we decided that we would gather in the front yard because, as you were saying, it's very important to make sure we maintain social distance. They all said they were showing up regardless. So we did what we had to during the day, and then we set out tables and we were widely spaced out in the front yard. And that moment came when I realized I obtained 49.07% of the vote. And in Palmetto Bay, our governing documents require 50% plus one. So as I'm sitting on the porch trying to do a quick algebraic equation, I realize I'm about 124 votes away from just being done. And accepting that and realizing gratitude for having gotten that far, and then persistence so that I can continue it up for another 4 weeks, because it's been a hard year for all of us. And so just kind of circling back, resetting, and getting ready to get out in the community. Truly, I love canvassing. The excuse to go door to door and very distantly say hello to people. People want to talk and talk about the issues. I love that part. So I was able to pivot and say, I've got another 4 weekends to go and talk to my neighbors.
I love that. And that's the reason why every single vote counts. I mean, to miss that by 124 votes. That's 124 people that could have voted. So that's amazing. And you've persisted, you've persevered.
We've actually got a better example in Palmetto Bay of how each vote counts. I've presented to some high school classes in auditoriums and in smaller settings of how important it is to register, because I've got a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 20-year-old. Part of my motivation for getting involved in this cycle was to grab those 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds who might go, oh, we can go and vote for Miss Tellam. Let's go and get involved. And in presenting to them, I got the permission of a past councilman named Howard Tendrich. 3 cycles ago, Howard lost his runoff election in Palmetto Bay by 1 vote.
Wow.
So I've got this picture of Howard up on the screen in the auditorium, and I look at the kids and I go, don't let somebody you care about be Howard. Don't not vote because you could cause a loss by just 1 vote.
It's amazing. People just don't realize, especially in small towns and cities and municipalities such as Palmetto Bay, that it really just could come down to 1 vote, literally. And obviously it did. And so a question I have, it's everybody's like post-election, like nauseated and, over it. And so do you find it challenging to get people back out to vote yet again?
There have been some challenges. I've been surprised by the educational cycle that you have to go through in order to keep people engaged. Core group, people who are supporting me, the over 700 people, families that have my signs in their yard in Palmetto Bay, they're on it, they're ready. And they just need to make sure that they get their mail-in ballots or get there on 12/1. Canvassing, though, I've run into plenty of families who I had not had an opportunity to make friends with yet. We're like, yeah, but why did I get this second ballot? Or, oh, I voted for you. And I'll say, but did you vote twice? And I have to explain why.
Right.
And by twice, she means December 1st, not on the same election.
Yes, exactly. Two different cycles, two different ballots. We have 5,600 mail-in ballots that go out in Palmetto Bay. And in general, in our past runoff elections, we've had between 4,000 and 6,000 voters.
Well, we can't wait for next week, your election. What are let's get into the nitty gritty. Like, what are your priorities, your issues that you are running on, that you're going to reinforce in Palmetto Bay?
Thank you for asking, Carolina. We have a little slice of paradise down here in Palmetto Bay, but we do also have a brand new village attorney and a brand new village manager. I want to use my experience in oversight and governance to get on our council and be able to make sure that we're governing in an efficient manner so that we're serving the best interests of the residents and property owners of Palmetto Bay. And I've kind of developed the tagline of protect, preserve, and promote, to protect our communities, to preserve what makes Palmetto Bay so special, and then to promote the individual voices of our residents. We want to make sure that our government in Palmetto Bay is representing what we want, not necessarily outside interests. And by having the litigation experience, the mediation experience, and the leadership experience that I've had, I can get in there and I can work with all 5 members of our council and our 2 new village charter officers and come to a consensus that is the best for the people that live here in Palmetto Bay.
And so what are some of the issues that you've been hearing about from your neighbors, obviously, and as you've been out canvassing, that that people want to see happen or improve?
Well, one of the top things in Palmetto Bay is that just like everywhere in Miami-Dade, we have traffic issues. And I'm looking forward to working with the connections that I've made on the county level and other municipal levels to work on a cohesive strategy so that we can decrease the cut-through traffic through Palmetto Bay. We've got 2 great things on the horizon that are going to help with that. And I look forward to helping to facilitate the development of 4 traffic circles on Old Cutler Road. And we've also contracted on the county level, congratulations Daniela for that win, to bring traffic lights, smart traffic lights all the way through down US 1. And these 2 things are really going to improve our traffic according to the professionals, the traffic engineers who have started these projects. I'm looking forward to making sure we implement those in an efficient manner.
And I've also heard there's environmental issues in your area, just like South Florida, but what are the key environmental issues in your particular area?
So one of them is that we have to deal with long-term resiliency, sea level rise. And we've got septic systems and we've got coastal area in Palmetto Bay that we have to work to coordinate. One of the things I've enjoyed doing is I've worked with a world-renowned artist who's also a Palmetto Bay resident named Xavier Cortada.
His artwork right next to you, that beautiful little seahorse. Xavier.
That's actually from the Biscayne Bay Aquatic Preserve's 40th celebration that we were at.
Yes, I recognize that from my work.
I love that.
And I love Xavier. He's a champion for the environment. So go ahead. I think you wanted to refer to Xavier in your campaign capacity, right?
Yes, actually, not just the fact that he's another member of the U, but he came out recently and sent me a wonderful video expressing his support for my candidacy. And we've gotten to know each other well through a project that he has called the Underwater HOA, or Homeowners Association. And it operates out of Pinecrest Gardens. And he gathers his crew so that we can learn more about what we need to do to prepare our communities and our property owners for the eventual impacts of sea level rise. That's one of the things that's extremely crucial for Palmetto Bay. Another thing is that we develop in an educated and proper manner. We've got a couple of big property pieces that need to be addressed. One of them is on the water, exactly, and we're in some challenging litigation right now that I'm looking forward to using my lawyer's eye and my lawyer's experience to oversee the mediation and the mitigation of what needs to be done there so that we don't have, it's the old FPL site and there's some toxic chemicals there, and there's also a question of what type of development will go in. And I'm ready to get involved so that we can protect our environment and we can protect the neighboring communities so that we don't have overdevelopment, but at the same time respect the property rights that that property owner has established under our code. That's going to be a fun and challenging one that I'm looking forward to. And then there are two other areas in Palmetto Bay where we have our downtown area where we've got a lot of property owners that are looking to develop there. And we got to make sure that that's not at a cost to the residents. And another one down on Cutler where we're going to have to consider the traffic cost as well. So it's not going to be simple, but I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. How lucky is Palmetto Bay to have such a strong candidate running for vice mayor? I want to find out, especially for our viewers, what in your opinion differentiates you from your opponent?
Well, I think it comes down to a matter of motivation. My motivation is simply that I want to be of service to my neighbors. I've lived in my home for a quarter of a century, which makes me sound really old, but 25 years. And I plan to live 25 or more years in this home, in this community. And I want to make sure that my kids and my friends' kids can raise their kids in this community and that my neighbors can grow old in this community without it becoming overdeveloped, without it becoming something that belongs to others. And I think that's what distinguishes me primarily. I also think that the background that I have.
We can hear you.
I'm sorry, there was a distracting noise in the background that comes with 2 kids and 3 dogs in the house.
Don't I know?
We all know that.
The joys of working from home.
Yes.
So I've been working remotely for my law firm from home since March 24th of this year. And so we've adjusted to that quite considerably. The experience that I've gained over the years, I don't always wear on my sleeve, but through Junior League and through other organizations, I've gone to many training seminars, gained certificates in strategic planning. I'm a parliamentary geek and I like working with others to make sure that you come to a consensus. And I think that's something that I can uniquely bring to our community because my opponent, on the other hand, is the former village manager that we actually asked to leave his position. And so bringing someone on that's a former employee that left in a contentious manner is not going to lend ourselves towards consensus and progress forward. I'm the one that's not going to bring contention, rather I'm going to bring consensus.
Well, I think that most women do. And that's why it's important to have women at every decision-making table, in my opinion, because we do bring that perspective of working things out. It is just in our nature. And it's important to keep that, again, in politics, especially now with the way things have gone a bit out of hand in politics. There's just no room for this negative stuff anymore. We need to, start moving things forward and improving the quality of lives of our, residents in Dade County. And so, I really congratulate you, Leanne. You have a great platform. You're such a well-rounded candidate with all the right qualifications, and Palmetto Bay is hopefully is going to be very lucky to have you representing them next week.
Absolutely, and this is your last and final push this weekend. So my question to you is, what can we do if we want to get involved, if we want to help you in this last and final push? How can we do that for you?
Thank you for asking, Carolina. I have an amazing group of people that are going out. We're going to have some fun canvassing, socially distanced, safe canvassing. We're going to meet Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we're going to meet at our farmers market in Coral Reef Park by the gazebo. And I encourage anyone who wants to come out. But if you want to be specifically contacted about it, my website is leannetellam.com. And the spelling is right there behind me. And I'm very proud of the fact that it was designed and put together by one of my former Girl Scouts. Her name's Rebecca Lancey, and she's just an incredible talent. UF grad, but we'll forgive her for that. But LeanneTellam.com has a tab for volunteers and anyone who wants to come out and walk in beautiful Palmetto Bay this weekend and share a little bit of our community with us can. We are super safe and super organized and beautiful. We've got, I will give a shout out if you don't mind. Commander Guerra, who's in charge of our police force, is just amazing. And one of the things I'm so proud of in Palmetto Bay is that we've got a response time that is under 5 minutes. I think last time I saw it was 2 minutes. And the job that our police force does in Palmetto Bay certainly makes it one of those communities where you can feel like you can come out and enjoy the weather that we're going to have this weekend. So if anybody wants to come out and join us, it's LeanneTellam.com, or they can reach me. I can give my my cell phone number out, and anybody can call me and ask me anything about Palmetto Bay.
And I gotta say that what a great experience that is for young people that are interested in getting involved in the political, arena and really understand what it's all about, how elections work, and working with a candidate and really, promoting a message. I highly recommend it to any young person who's interested in getting involved. But you mentioned the Girl Scouts, and that's like true to my heart. I'm a former president of the Girl Scouts of Tropical Florida. And I don't know if, Leanne, you were able to join us. You were probably campaigning, but we had amazing fundraiser online, campfires and cocktails with Chef Adrian, and it was a blast. So
it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I still have my cocktail glass.
Great. And we were kind of worried that, because last year we had this beautiful luncheon at the Rusty Pelican.
It was beautiful.
This year we were just kind of nervous about how much money we would raise, but it really went well, and we were very successful. So thank you for participating in that and for being a Girl Scout.
My daughter's still possibly going to work on her Gold Award, and I was a Girl Scout myself down in Cutler Bay when I was a kid. Yeah. And so I was her leader for years. I was at that Rusty Pelican thing. In fact, the executive director of Girl Scouts, Chelsea Wilkerson, lives in Palmetto Bay, and your development officer also is a Palmetto Bay resident.
Hey,
so we are all Girl Scouts down here.
I love it.
My 11-year-old has not been a Girl Scout, but I just admire Girl Scouts and how much they do for our youth. And but as you ladies were saying, our youth is our future. They're our present, they're our future. And I think that is our motivation in regards to leaving a better community, to leaving a better, like Palmetto Bay for our children. And so my daughter's 11 and she participates in everything with me as well. She's a little activist and I'm so proud of her. And she's really one of my motivations to really uplift women and promote women. And, it's truly rewarding. And I know they're our future. So.
And that's your daughter's painting behind you?
Actually a painting that she did. So Leanne, just so you know, every episode, I always showcase a painting from my daughter. This is something that she started doing during COVID. So once we went dark in March, she started just painting and she's done like at least 30 of them. And that's been her new hobby after after the pandemic started. So very proud of her.
She's got some intrinsic talent there.
She does.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing a new painting every episode. So that's one of the highlights of our show.
Can I just, before we move away from the Girl Scouts completely, I'd like to share a quick story. I was at a national convention at one point. I was either president-elect or president of the Miami Junior League. And so in this big giant room, we had president-elects and presidents of junior leagues from across the nation and from 3 countries internationally. And we had the retired CEO of Girl Scouts nationally come and speak to us about her book. But before she started her lecture, she asked everyone in the room, there was probably, I want to say, about 800 women in the room, if you were ever involved in Girl Scouts, and you think it's played a role in your leadership today, please stand up. And I will tell you that 95% of the room stood up.
Amazing. And every time. It happens every time wherever you go. What an amazing network of And I think almost every astronaut, I think every female astronaut has been a Girl Scout. You know,
So
shout out
building girls of
our
confidence
women
and
in science.
character.
Yeah, our women in science. Yes. Um, so
And
Leanne,
talking about Girl Scouts, who has been your biggest supporter?
Who has been my biggest supporter?
Family, friends, like your
I would
biggest
definitely
cheerleader.
say my kids have been incredible and my closest girlfriends. And when I say my closest girlfriends, I mean broad circles of women. But my kids, especially when we had some things happen recently in the family, and whether I was going to continue forward on my campaign, my kids looked at me and they said, "Mom, this will give you that sense of purpose that you always need in your life." And so the sense of purpose I have in running for vice mayor and serving my community is something that my kids give me the bandwidth for, and I'm so grateful for them.
that's fantastic. Well, I mean, when I ran for office, my motivation was my son, and he was a little kid at the time, like tiny, but I felt like I needed to do something. It was just that was the motivation. I needed to look at helping improve things, and I think that's pretty much what motivates most candidates. But really, I'm biased towards women, and I think that's really what ignites us in the at the core. And so I'm so pleased to have met you, Leanne, and I'm excited for you. And I hope that it all goes well. Tuesday, December 1st is the runoff election for Palmetto Bay. So you Palmetto Bayers, get out and vote. Or, hopefully you already sent in your, absentee ballot. Is that the way it works, or can they just take it in?
So at this point, it's really too late to send in any absentee ballots because we don't have a drop box in Palmetto Bay. So you'd either need to take it all the way to Doral, or you can bring it in and you can give it to the place where is your normal polling place and you can vote. It's just one bubble, but we need you to come out. And if you aren't in Palmetto Bay, text your friends, call your friends, tell them they need to have a plan to vote because this is really, really crucial to the future of Palmetto Bay. And I want to be of service, so I want to make sure that we win by a big margin.
Yeah, and for those of us in Coral Gables, we'll do the same when we'll call all our friends in that live in Palmetto Bay. I have a few. Actually been going to Palmetto Bay quite a bit lately because I really like barbecue. And
Oh, yes.
those folks over at Pig Floyd, they just they're so good.
And I have a
so-
question. Are we also phone banking for you? Is that a thing too this weekend?
Yes, there is phone banking going on. We wanted to give everybody a break over the holiday. So we're starting back up on Sunday and Monday, and we will be reaching out to people as well. So if you don't want to go door to door, if you'd rather reach out to people over the phone, we've got that going on too. You'll see that on that volunteer tab. There's a tab you can check. And the rock star women that I have supporting me Katie Sorensen herself is recruiting women into the volunteer bank. And then people that are experts at this have stepped in to help to get everybody in the right place. And so the training level that's offered as well is incredible for a small little 8 square mile runoff election. I'm overwhelmed by the support, but I know that it's for a good cause. And one of the things I really like also is that we're talking about educating young women or young people. There are also circles of women who have never stepped into the political arena, who don't know whether or not they want to get involved. And this is a very safe way to do it. You're surrounded by friends, you're in a community that you can enjoy, and there's a good cause to it. And so we've got excellent training. And I like when I see my girlfriends who aren't politically inclined, who always turn to me for that type of input, coming in, learning how to canvass, learning how to phone bank. We're building a bigger and bigger coalition to support women who are running for office.
Well, I'm going to be putting my phone banking hours on Monday for you, so I can't wait.
All right.
Thank you, Carolina. You've been incredible, really.
And whoever else is interested, go to leannetellam.com and click on that volunteer tab. And Leanne, really, I can't wait to could work with you on sea level rise and Biscayne Bay recovery issues moving forward. everything happens at the local level, folks. At the municipal levels is where you really see action and where you can really get involved in your local community to make things better for, the future. So with that, we thank you so much, Leanne, for joining us today. I know you're super busy, so you want to get back out there. And Carolina, like always, my beautiful co-host, thanks for joining us on Miami View Women, our post-Thanksgiving special.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate you having me on.
And mask up and stay safe, and please practice social distancing. We can lower these curves. It's ridiculous. It's not about you. It's about everyone else. Okay. So with that, adios.
Besito.
Hasta la próxima.
Bye.